Last video we discussed about the molecular orbital theory and how to draw molecular orbital diagram. In this video we are going to discuss the application or the informations obtained from molecular orbital theory. From molecular orbital diagram we will be able to calculate the bond order. Once you know the bond order, you can easily know the stability of the molecule, whether the molecule is stable or unstable. And you can easily know the nature of the bond, whether the molecule is having a single bond, double bond or triple bond. From molecular orbital diagram, you can easily predict the magnetic property, whether the molecule is diamagnetic or paramagnetic. From bond order, you can know the bond length. So these are the informations we are getting from the molecular orbital theory or molecular orbital diagram. Now we will see one by one. First you will take the bond order. So bond order is nothing but the number of covalent bonds or chemical bonds between the combining atoms, between the pair of atoms. For example, you take a nitrogen molecule, you have like this, and between two nitrogen atoms we have 3 bonds. So we have 3 covalent bonds. So we can say that the bond order for nitrogen molecule is 3. It's very simple to calculate. From the molecule you can easily know the bond order. But from the molecular orbital diagram you can calculate the bond order by using the formula half into Nb minus Na, where Nb is nothing but the number of electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. So here it is bonding molecular orbital. B stands for bonding. So you have to see the number of electrons in bonding molecular orbitals. Na stands for the number of electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals. So A stands for anti-bonding. So if you know this number of electrons, then you can subtract it and divide by 2, you will be getting the bond order. For example, you take the formation of hydrogen molecule. So you have hydrogen where you have 1s orbital with 1 electron, and you take another hydrogen and you have 1s orbital with 1 electron. Now these two 1s orbital, they will combine to form 2 molecular orbitals. So this is one molecular orbital which is having lower energy. It is called as sigma 1s, and this is sigma star 1s. Now you fill it with electrons. Using Auber principle and Hund's rule, you fill up the electron in these molecular orbitals. So you will have both the electrons in here, in the lower orbitals. And this orbital we call it as bonding orbitals. And this orbital is called as anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Now you have, this is what we call it as Nb, and this is what we call it as Na. Now we have Nb, we have 2 electrons, and Na we don't have any electrons, 0 electron. So now you apply this formula. So you have bond order is equal to half into 2 minus 0. So that is equal to 1. So the between hydrogen and hydrogen you will have a single bond. Since bond order is 1, you will have a single bond. So this is how you have to calculate the bond order. So from bond order we can easily know the stability of the molecule. Always the bond order is greater than 0. When bond order is greater than 0, then the molecule is stable. If the bond order is less than 0 or equal to 0, then the molecule is unstable. So if the bond order is greater than 0, that means the number of electrons in bonding molecular orbital is greater than the number of electrons in anti-bonding molecular orbitals, because the bond order formula is Nb minus Na. So always the Nb must be greater than Na, only then bond order will be positive, that is greater than 0. So when Nb is greater than Na, the molecule is stable. But if Nb is less than Na or Nb is equal to Na, then the molecule is unstable. So for example, you take the formation of hydrogen molecule and helium molecule. So for hydrogen I have drawn the diagram, molecular orbital diagram here, and here hydrogen we have totally 2 electrons. So total number of electrons here in this case total number of electrons. Here it is 2, here it is 4. So here the 2 electrons occupy the lower bond orbitals, that is bonding molecular orbitals. So we have the electronic configuration as sigma 1s2 for hydrogen. For helium, you will have the same, but 4 electrons you have to occupy. So here 2 electrons, the remaining 2 electrons will go here. So you can draw the diagram like this. That is 1s and 1s, and these two, they will mix to form 2 molecular orbitals. And here you have 2 electrons for one helium, and here for one other helium. So this is for one helium and this is for another helium. So 2 electrons, they will occupy the lower one, that is what we call it as sigma 1s. The remaining 2 electrons, they will occupy the higher molecular orbital, that is sigma star 1s. Now when you draw the electronic configuration for helium molecule, you can write sigma 1s2 sigma star 1s2. So now we can calculate the bond order for this molecule. So bond order, that will be equal to half into 2 minus 2, that will be equal to 0. So for helium, we are getting the bond order as 0. Here the bond order is equal to 1. So the hydrogen molecule is stable, but helium molecule is unstable. So this is unstable because we are getting the bond order as 0. So we have NB is equal to Na. So it is unstable. So always remember, such a molecule cannot exist. If bond order is equal to 0 or less than 0, then that molecule cannot exist. So this is about the stability of the molecule. Next we will discuss the nature of the bond. From bond order we can calculate the nature of the bond. If the bond order is 1, then it's a single covalent bond. For example, you take hydrogen and chlorine. So hydrogen we have like this. So here the bond order is equal to 1. Similarly chlorine. If the bond order is 2, then we have 2 double bond between 2 atoms. For example, you take oxygen. So oxygen we have O double bond O. So here the bond order is 2. Similarly, if the bond order is 3, we have a triple bond. So if the bond order is 3, we have a triple bond between nitrogen atoms. In nitrogen molecule, we have 3 bonds. So the bond order is 3. So from the bond order, we can know the nature of the bond. Next, from the molecular orbital diagram, we will know the magnetic property, whether the molecule is a diamagnetic or paramagnetic. If in the molecular orbital diagram, if all electrons are paired up like this, it all paired up, that is doubly occupied, then it is called as diamagnetic. So if all the electrons are paired, then it is called as diamagnetic. If the electrons are unpaired, if they are singly occupied like this, then they are called as paramagnetic. So if they are remember like this, 2 electrons. So when they are paired up, then it is called as diamagnetic. If they are unpaired or singly occupied, then it is called as paramagnetic. From the molecular orbital diagram, we can easily know. Then from bond order, we can know the bond length, because the bond length is inversely proportional to bond order. For example, you take carbon single bond carbon, carbon double bond carbon, carbon triple bond carbon. Here the bond order is 1, here the bond order is 2, here the bond order is 3. Always this carbon-carbon single bond length is greater than the carbon-carbon double bond, which is greater than carbon-carbon triple bond. So the bond order is in this way. So 1, so you have like this. So as the bond order increases, the bond length decreases. So from the bond order, you can know the bond length. So as the bond order increases, the bond length decreases. So this is about the informations we are getting from the molecular orbital diagram. So one, we are getting the bond order. Then we will be knowing about the nature of the bond. And then magnetic property, whether it's a diamagnetic or paramagnetic, and bond length. So these are the informations we are getting from the molecular orbital diagram. So next video we will discuss some of the example. Along with this informations we will apply and find out how to draw the molecular orbital diagram. Thank you for watching.